How many guys have been out there and had their wife that's been so sick and had a headache for so long that they haven't smashed in months? Well, I got a story for you. Welcome to another Mids Watch. I'll dive right into it, skip the preamble. Another guy here, how to handle a wife that's always sick and or tired. So the guy's wife, they're in their 30s, have 3 kids. All the kids are under 8. She works part-time. She also does the school drop-offs and the pickups. He started his journey here 2 months ago, and he's noticed a few small improvements in the wife's behavior so far, which is increased exercise by her, more sex for them, albeit not much better. It started from nothing. So over the last year or so, she's gotten IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, which coincidentally started around the same time that a very good childhood friend of hers was diagnosed with IBS. In the past year, she's requested from her GP and received referrals for screening, range of blood tests, celiac testing, colonoscopies, and the outcomes were, in order, negative. All normal, negative, normal, 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 with the following quote from the doctor who did this. "This was the most boring colonoscopy I have ever done. Everything was 100% fine. And finally, after pushing her doctor, she now has a diagnosis of IBS. At the same time, she's complained incessantly over how tired she is and how tired her life her kids make her, 2 are at school, 1's at daycare, works 25 hours a week. She gets them up in the morning, she buries them around. Excuse me. And he contributes his fair share when he gets home. She does more housework than me, but he does enough. And funnily enough, her gut aches and lethargy only seem to occur when we're at home together for the evening, and not when she has her own personal stuff going on. For example, gives a rundown. Tuesday, she's out all evening in a meeting related to her sports, and she gets home around 9:30. Wednesday, he had something going on, so she took the kids to the sisters for dinner, and he got home around 8:30. Thursday, they're home together. She started complaining about her gut and being tired around 6:30 and was in bed by 8. And Friday, we're home together, and at around 8, she suggests that we have a spa together. After 10 minutes in, he initiates, and she gets out saying she's falling asleep. They all go dry off, goes to bed, he initiates again, she offers starfish, he says no, goes to read in the living room. When he comes out at 11, she initiates, and it's okay. Then Saturday, going out with friends. So she and the kids went to stay with a friend of hers who lived 2 hours away. He got a good night text from her just after midnight. Sunday, she's asleep on the couch at 6, and last night he had a meeting, got a text from 8 saying that she thinks she has a cold and she's going to bed. So combine this with her being up around 5:30 in the morning to run on the treadmill most mornings, a good thing, sure. But he's like, I'd prefer if she worked out on my cock. So in the past, he would whine about never being priority, and he'd spend all of her energy on other people, and he's like, it's blue pill, I'm not going to do that anymore. So I know I don't expect to see changes right away. I get it. My SMV isn't high enough yet for her to get out of her own way. He understands the concept of the tow rope, all that stuff. But at the moment, he's approaching this by withdrawing attention and affection when she pulls this. For example, this morning, go to leave the house without giving her a goodbye kiss. As I get to the door, she says to her 2-year-old, I guess Daddy's not talking to me. I respond with, no, I am, goodbye. And she goes, well, don't I get a goodbye kiss? And he responds with, well, if you want one, come over here. She storms off. He leaves for work. Not a great response. He's like, but I've done worse. By the way, I like how people talk about this. Even on the failed shit tests and bad revenge fantasy stuff, at least then the guys are like, all right, fucked it up, whatever. It's like, it used to be a lot worse. And they kind of understand. So how would you guys deal with this on a macro level? Is there anything I can do? Surprisingly common, by the way. I'm going to get to, again, another one of the Jacks. Jack 10 of hearts. So a lot of wives, I know the meme is about getting lots of pillows. Girls will buy 15 pillows, put them in the bedroom, and use them as a pillow fort. One guy, I remember this in Dead Bedrooms, described his wife used to make a pillow fort to hide him. Or they'll bring the kids to sleep in the parents' bedroom. Kids would sleep at home until they were a year old in the parents' bed. That's why kids have this wonderful nickname amongst the masculine corners of the internet. It's called cock blockers. But yeah, so that's just something to be aware of. And it's this will give you some insight in how to parse that, where it's these passive ways that girls express their non-attraction. And in this case, she actually faked irritable bowel syndrome. But the beauty about this is that she's not lying. She actually worked herself up into a fervor, hypochondria, She actually believes she has this because, she's supposed to be attracted to her husband. She's supposed to want to sleep with her husband, but she just doesn't feel it. And so in order to process these emotions, she latched on to the first thing she found. Friend had IBS and cancer. That's what I have. That's exactly what I have. It's not that I'm not attracted to you. I have cancer. I have IBS. All the doctors told her she was crazy, and so she'd Karen to the doctors until somebody gave her this. Doctors basically gave her a doctor's note against sleeping with her husband. And he gets it. Now, Jack's comment here, take it for what it's worth, she's not spending all of her energy on those people. She's receiving energy from those people. Surely you're familiar with the experience. You want to meet up with a friend for happy hour after work, but you didn't sleep well the night before. Your work day was stressful and aggravating. You still haven't filed your taxes or done some other stuff. So you text the friend, man, I'm not feeling too hot. You want a rain check or a happy hour? If he's a good friend, you'll say, stop being a pussy. Let's go. Haven't seen you in forever. Have a beer with me, you asshole. So you drag yourself out and go. There's traffic on the way, parking's a pain in the ass, bar's loud, crowded. You just want to take a damn nap, but you're here doing the exact same opposite thing. Your friends at the bar is like, dude, you made it. The enthusiasm he has for your mere presence, your fatigued, disheveled, mentally withdrawn presence perks you up. You feel a little less fatigued, a little less disheveled, a little less withdrawn. Then you see your friend has 2 Red Bulls and 2 shots waiting for you. He's like, yeah, now that I know you're not actually a pussy, we need to drink this and then chug that. You roll your eyes. What the fuck is this? College? It's happy hour at a dive bar on a Thursday. You start to bitch, but he's not having it. Drink the shot, stop being a bitch. And you downs his, you groan, but you do the same. And then you blink a couple times, you already feel a little bit amped, a little bit buzzed, even though it's impossible that the alcohol and the caffeine kicked in. But you expected to feel amped and buzzed, so you already do feel amped and buzzed. And isn't that the whole thing? The only point that matters? So yeah, your friend polishes off his Red Bull. He's like, all right, I know you got a lot of shit to do. You're going to take off now. We'll meet up another time. So even though this option would have seemed so appealing to you 30 seconds ago, you can't imagine why you would do that now. Nah, man. You can't walk out of here until I buy you a round. So he's like, so what's this feeling as this story? Like, what am I explaining to you? Your wife gets that from everybody else in her life but you. This is why she so eagerly participates in activities and spends time with people that aren't you. They're energizing and you're enervating. Now, I don't know if you're just enervating to her in general, and unfortunately your Vic and puke was so focused on your wife it contained close to zero introspection about your own shortcomings. So why do we even preach like you gotta lift, bro? It's not just cosmetic. It's among other things. It's the easiest possible way to internalize how something that seemingly consumes energy can in fact provide energy. If you guys haven't seen that post-euphoric rush after a workout, you'll know what I'm talking about. Wouldn't be thinking about left pedal, right pedal. They would just point themselves in a direction. Just like happy hour. You dragged your tired ass to the gym, you did a workout, and you felt better afterwards. Investing hard work into productive achievements actually yields a greater capacity for work in the future to achieve even more. But in your house, you just consume your wife's energy, That's why she falls asleep within 30 seconds of spending any time with you. She's like, I think it's related to this. He's like, all right, so here's my completely unprofessional and unqualified psychological opinion. I think your wife is suffering from some sort of burnout when it comes to managing the household. Best way I can describe it is if you've ever had a cleaning service come to your house while you were gone. How did you feel when you came back? Probably refreshing. So take the exact opposite of that feeling. You've probably heard of like the broken window theory, so he's suggesting something like that. Your children, your household, and you were constant reminders of all the disorganization and chaos at work. The idea of chores. Your wife nagging you to do the dishes, and maybe we'd have sex. All those are theories to suggest it's part of some conscious, grand feminist scheme to turn us into compliant beta bucks. Or maybe it's just a bunch of harried women trying to say, I'd be less stressed if I wasn't constantly reminded by you and the children about how fucked up and disheveled our lives were. And it's not an easy concept to communicate. They don't really understand it. So instead, you just get some whining about the dishes. Like, don't do the dishes. She's still not going to fuck you. Because she knows those dishes won't get that clean anyway, because your town is hard water and all your glassware just ends up with lime streaks and blah, blah, blah. But she can't seem to not give a shit about something, even though she knows it's unreasonable. So instead, she nags you about something tangentially related that doesn't solve the root cause. Anyways, he's like, that's my theory anyway. Your wife has some kind of active type A personality that likes running her life as a well-oiled machine, and as you've had more kids, that dream became harder and harder to do. Mentally, she'll beat herself up over this. She even verbally beats herself up over this, but, you probably have had several conversations where you told her to shut up about sending the Christmas cards, so you're too busy to send them, so just skip them this year. He's like, that's your failure. That's why you're enervating and not energizing. She was essentially acting captain for several household roles that you didn't care about, but she did. But she couldn't get it done. And the move is at that point either establish a frame where the household rules aren't that important and not something she should get herself an anxious frenzy over, or act with enough leadership to get it done. And the problem is he's not doing either. So just remember this. A lot of this leadership part, it's not just about getting things done in the house. Sometimes it's about articulating prioritization. So yeah, she probably has a whole bunch of tasks she likes to do. You see she's a busybody during the week, probably a huge control freak. So instead of having her try to make the life perfect, prioritize. We're not doing Christmas cards this year. The kids are going to get taken care of. We need to hire a maid. Some things are important, some things are not. And the way you're kind of managing her stress in a way that she can't. Now, this is not a beginner concept, because you guys can't just be doing this at the beginning of a failed relationship, because she's not going to care. Trying to lead a girl that doesn't want to be led is useless. You have to be in a position of authority, of respect, in order to get there. Now, do you want to be? If she's generally good, like in this case, the guy's like, all right, I started acting attractive and she's responding well, but it's not good enough yet, so I get it. He's putting in effort. Effort is working out well. The relationship is good. There's nothing wrong with this. So yeah, in this case, sure, for him, he's like, of course, why wouldn't I want to keep this happy family together? She's putting in effort. It's not where I want it yet, but that's fine. That's something I can work on. Now, if she was like the example of a horrible, lazy nobody, probably not. But that, again, that's a choice that every guy has to make for himself. And this is why I say the relationship is the woman's job, because in this case, he's not fixing the relationship. He's fixing expectations. He's fixing what he's willing to put up with or not put up with, how he likes his household run. And she can fit into that frame, and he should. If it's a good frame, it's easygoing, it's enervating. Why wouldn't you want to go? Energizing, sorry, not enervating, it's energizing. So why wouldn't you want to be part of that? But that's the thing, if you're not leading that kind of energizing life, that this is what marketers would call the being your best self, then yeah, why would anybody want to be a part of that? And that's kind of the revelation that we're all coming to on this one here. And this kind of is this was before the scoreboard, by the way. I don't know if you guys know this, but it's a good way to understand why the scoreboard stuff is important. He stops trying to win these little battles and realizes there's no scoreboard. There's a house that I can run in a way that I know runs well, and she'll be happy for it, but if I just leave her to her own aimless self, she's going to be a mess like this. And the manifestation of that is a subpar sex life. And that's how we can get attention. Carrying on. So do you ever have friends come over? Do they ever host any guests? Do they cook dinner and eat with other couples? Do you have a game night? Do you throw a party? If no, why not? Her social plans are either activities that provide the discrete, holistic sense of achievement she craves, or that they're an escape. An escape from you because you're innovating the shit out of her life. And this is the part where I love, because kind of Pickup caught into this too. So he's like, yeah, women fucking love, and are completely addicted to a man who can offer an escape. You can offer other synonyms at this point, and I know in the past I would have talked about play, and this is similar. Too many guys don't play with their wives. They don't escape with their wives, and then they wonder why they're so hell-bent on the goddamn dishes. The escape doesn't have to be elaborate. He's like, the three most common ways I escape with my wife, take a long shower together, walk into a frozen yogurt place in our downtown area and walking back, going for a hike on this trail that starts about a mile from where we live, me too, same thing. Shower together with the wife, take 20-30 minutes, talk about whatever. It's a nice little escape. We have a Dairy Queen down by our place. We do the same thing. It's actually kind of funny reading this. We don't go for a hike on a trail, but we take our dogs down to there's this nice Lake Ontario has this nice beach, Cherry Beach in Ontario. We always take the dogs down there, go for a little run. It's nice. He's like, seriously, when girls say they want passion, they want to be romance, what they mean is stuff like that. Too many guys think it means vacations and expensive dinners. He's like, dude, have you been on a vacation? They're stressful. Even before kids, it was work. Pack this, pack that, get a boarding pass. What time should we leave? What terminal is this? He's like, geez, it's too much. He's like, I like that stuff too, but I hate the 48 hours of logistics it takes just to get to the lounge chair, especially if your problem is de-stressing. So if your idea of a romantic getaway is doing the same 48 hours of bullshit, don't bother. Just put on some sneakers and go for a hike. Pick up and walk. So unfortunately, very few people ever figure this out, which is why everybody always fawns about the geriatric couples that sit at dinner and just smile contently at each other. You want to know why that fucking couple is sweet and content with each other? It's because they're about to eat some great fucking food instead of subjecting themselves to an anal cavity search by the TSA. Meanwhile, you're taking your wife out to a super trendy, expensive restaurant looking for street parking while she complains that you couldn't just valet and you're pissed because she's about to drop $250 on the meal. So maybe that bitch shouldn't give you such a hard time trying to save $7. Maybe it won't matter since you're already lost, but you can't navigate it. It's like, oh, by the way, this valet parking thing is another Mids Watch coming up. There's a little Easter egg for you for in the future. And he brings up Royce here too. It's like, so think of it this way. The idea of bringing up the Skittles man is not that women have some sort of genetic impulse to love men who treat them like shit. But it's a simple and well-executed escape is infinitely more attractive than fucking up expensive dinner reservations or travel plans. And if you guys don't know what Skittles Man is, it's an old Chateau Hartise post. I think I have an on point on it. And if not, definitely go look it up. It's well worth. He's like, all right, here's your goal. Paradigm shift. Sex is now an escape. Your wife says, I've had a shitty day and I need you to fuck me really hard to forget about it. If you're there, you've made it. And if you can offer her an escape, whether it's sexual or otherwise, that's the idea of being a Skittles man. So once you've started grasping that and offering her and the other people in your life an escape from their bullshit, they'll love you for it. Be attractive, be the shining beacon of hope, be a mystery, be fun. Game is supposed to be fun. Fun is supposed to be an escape. You're supposed to be the reason that people will avoid shit just to come hang with you because you're that damn good. You're the friend with the Red Bulls and the vodka. So your ideas to gradually withdraw attention and affection are misguided, or if they're done poorly, you'll just end up enervating her even further. She may even hamster she's losing touch with you and crave to bring the presence back into her life with another man, or she might feel liberated that you're annoying her less. Note, you mentioned she's being more committed to running on a treadmill. Running, solitary activity, relaxing for the mind. You'd say you'd prefer if she jump on your cock instead, but does your cock relax her mind? And I mean that facetiously. Do you relax her? If no, then it's not such a mystery why she prefers the treadmill over you, then is it? Anyways, Friday she suggested the hot tub. Now imagine sit next to her, hold each other, eyes closed, play some Enya or whatever. Might as well, just sit there. Naked embrace, 20 minutes. See the whole idea of withdrawing affection. It only works if that affection offers your wife an escape. If you haven't seen it, there's an older episode, it shouldn't be much further away than this one, about separating sex from intimacy. If you read that episode or watch that episode, you'll understand what this is getting at more here, so I won't belabor you with the post because Jack's already been going on for like 10,000 words now. So we'll skip apart all that stuff because we're not going to do it twice. So she'll probably also hold you back. When you get back into bed, ask you lots of questions about the meditation stuff, ask if she can try it with you, and this is how you want to handle it. You establish an escape, but also establishing it's not unconditional. And suddenly she'll muster whatever energy she needs for that escape with you because it's a net energizing process. It's I refer to it, and I haven't talked about this in forever, but it's like cuddles ain't free, lady. You have your cuddles ain't free moment. You have a fun life, you have a great escape, and it's there. There's only one condition, that you do it with people that you're romantically involved with enthusiasm. And then doing this over time will create, a more enthusiastic sexual relationship. So that's Jack's point on this. It's actually a pretty good one. Kind of took a long time. I've skipped basically half of what he was talking about because these points are better articulated in other places here, but I want to end on some thoughts. A lot of guys used to do like pickup in the 2000s, and then they get married and then they forget about all of it. Like, oh, this is not some whore at the bar, this is my wife. The wives still want escapism. You want to be an attractive man, everybody does. There's more to it than working out. You actually have to be attractive, be an escape, be fun. And I'm not saying you're doing this to impress other people. What I'm saying is you're doing this because you want to become that person. You're going to do the work, you've heard the term before, and from that work, you make yourself an attractive man. People actually see you as like an escape. They see you as that friend at the bar who's like, I haven't seen you in years, let's go. And you're all excited. You're like, oh, I haven't seen him in forever. Picks you up, builds your energy. But you add your own expectations on that. people that are valuable in my life get to join me on my selfish little journey of fun time stuff. And then on the back end, work on your logistics of, making sure you have a happy, healthy household and you run your things great. And it's kind of, I like this. The last couple episodes we've been talking about is understanding that there's no one size fits all red pill. That's why you can't tell anybody what to do. The one just before this was a guy who was so afraid of his wife's emotions that he couldn't even handle having his own frame. In this one, it's a guy who has his own frame. He's building his own mental point of origin. The logistics need a little bit of work, but he doesn't know how to be an attractive man. He just knows how to be not unattractive. And then you can see, depending on where you are, depending on what your weak points are, there's tools here for everything. So just pick the ones that apply to you, use them, and if they work, great. And if they don't, well, that's great too. Just don't use them. So I'm going to leave you there. It's already been going on long enough. Enjoy yourself, guys, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.